Good afternoon, this is Cheryl Merrill, and it's May 17, 2022. Hope you're doing well today. So I just have a couple words once again about this Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. And quite frankly, I just think it's a sign that our court system is just going down the tubes. They're looking for sensationalist cases to put on TV to make a lot of money, and then they're bringing on all these. They're in actually recharging their court system with more money, bringing in these specialists, body language people, analysis by other lawyers, and giving their opinions and things like that. And many times they're not really teaching the public about the law this way. They think that they are sometimes, but they're not. People are siding with people based on if they like them or not. It's not based on the facts, and it's very clear to me that, and it's interesting, I do appreciate these live programs sometimes because you do learn, if you have the insight and a little bit of a foundation in the law, you do learn that how corrupt our system is, that it allowed this case by Johnny Depp to begin with, because it's really about, in my opinion, now this is my opinion from what I've observed, how shocked I was to learn the ACLU was involved, that this is really, and, forgive me if I'm wrong, but this is my opinion, okay, that the ACLU is using Johnny Depp as its proxy to get back to its $7 million that Amber Heard owes it, in their minds. In their minds, she pledged $7 million based on some divorce marital agreement, and she stopped making the payments when she started running into legal troubles, and she has been led by a noose into this courtroom to be completely hated upon, and people absolutely, there's a lot of trolling going on in the forums, and she's just absolutely the villain. She's been made the villain, even though she's a new mother, and clearly obviously the facts are she helped Johnny Depp recover from drug addiction and being a junkie and an alcoholic, and but because she has a history of yelling and fighting back and stuff like that, they wanted to use that as a distraction, that this is really about the ACLU wanting their money. That's basically what it is. I mean, they want their money. They're going to get their money either way through Johnny Depp paying them back for it because of this case that he's probably going to win. He's probably going to win this case because it seems that the courtroom is biased. And it seems that I was shocked to learn that they're all men in the jury. That's a sign right there that this is rigged. The court system can be rigged. The judge can be in on it, and no one's going to care to prosecute the system and what people did wrong in this courtroom or whatever, because a lot of people made a lot of money. The lawyers are making tons of money on both sides. And like I say, when you have a young a young woman like Amber Heard years ago who married this man, they claim to boost her career, and that may be true. She denies that she married him just for her career. If that was the case, that she married him for her career, well, she would have just quit being an actress altogether and just married happy ever after. Okay, but she wanted to, because she saw likely early on that he was a junkie and she needed to maintain her own career. He was incapable of being a lifelong partner if he couldn't recover as an alcoholic or drug addict. She realized she didn't want to get into a situation where she was totally reliant on him. Like I was always aware of that I didn't want to get into a situation of depending on my parents, like some people where I came from would rely heavily on their parents financing everything in their lives and always being there for them. Well, I couldn't do that. So anyway, Amber's more independent and didn't want to be completely dependent on him. So anyway, this is really about, in my opinion, this got into the system and was accepted into the system, even though the ACLU, we found out as one of the facts, wrote this op-ed on her behalf. And she just was trusting way too much her lawyers, way too much professionals like the ACLU that they weren't going to backstab or do anything like that, but apparently they have. Now, her lawyer should have stopped it from happening in the first place. They should have said the ACLU wrote this. They set her up. And because this is deception, that they deceived her and she didn't know, she didn't understand. This was not her doing. This was the ACLU offering her some kind of a ambassador for the ACLU on domestic abuse. And so when they realized that they drew her into this organization, the ACLU, and they realized that she was setting aside the payments, and they really were very, very upset about it, obviously, because they rely on pledges for their budgets. And that's a lot of money. That's like burning a charity, an organization, by revoking payments. So it's like they hate her. Because these people love their money. They absolutely hate her. They've betrayed her in their minds. And so they want her out of the industry. They're all linked together. You see, Hollywood and the ACLU and all these liberal organizations, they're all a network. They're not going to put up with someone stopping the payments and not being able to say, when is it going to start again? It's because she never started paying again. They came after her and likely are planning on, I'm just like I say, this is my opinion. They're using Johnny to get back to the money so that he'll pay them the money, and then he'll have more money and more, more interest in his career and possibly renewing it somehow. So a lot of people love him and cheer him on, and they love hating on her, and it's a big psyop. I think she's aware of it by now, that it's a psyop on her, that they set her up. They set her up, clearly set her up with writing the op-ed for her. She was naive. She didn't know the law, that she could be taken to court when his name wasn't even mentioned. Any good lawyer would have said, don't allow them to do that. So anyway, she got herself into deep water. She's just ignorant. But, she's nowhere near the monster that they've made her out to be. It's very clear that they've got people hating on her and making her the witch, so it's good entertainment. And I just have to say that I just really think that the court system has become a scam in this day and age. It's really easy. Defamation has become a crazy thing that you could lose your life savings just for saying one thing about somebody. Like, for instance, I once had a case that there was a lot of information written about somebody on the internet, and somebody was impersonating him, writing me, who was in Hollywood, and they got, and because a lot of it was hearsay that I was going after, that was written about him on the internet. That's what I was just a paralegal who just had a certificate, and I didn't understand. I wasn't ever interested, or not interested, but introduced to hearsay. So I didn't know hearsay rules very well, and that's a very complicated topic, in the court system, is hearsay. I didn't know that this man had already had his reputation demolished on the internet from all of these things that have been written about him. I didn't know that that's hearsay. So when somebody was impersonating him, I thought he was coming after me, and so I tried to get a letter to him to let him know, please take this down, I'm going to have to sue you if you don't, or whatever, because I was trying to be a singer at the time. And so what happens is this guy from Hollywood, special effects, who actually worked on Johnny Depp's movies, Rick Lazzarini, he was involved in impersonating this guy and drawing me into a horrible situation in a lawsuit. So I had to let it go. I couldn't afford an attorney anymore, and this man won on a default judgment a lot of money. So yeah, so I'm aware. I'm kind of like tied into this kind of mentality about defamation, how they all gang up on you, and they know how to win defamation lawsuits. They draw you in, they set you up, and then they can, if you don't know things like about hearsay or anything, you want a lawsuit, and you go and you just file something hoping that he'll just give in and leave you alone and take the blog down or whatever. No, they want the money. It's all about money. So yeah, you learn it's not about you, it's about the money. They're trying to get to your money. And he wanted my parents' houses, and he was hoping that he'd get to money somehow, but they both, one died and sold his house before he died, and then the other, it has sold her house and she has Alzheimer's and she's not going to get to their money. And so I'm just saying that, these people are looking for money. So it's all about money. Don't take it personally. But anyway, Amber, I don't think she's going to commit suicide, or she's taking it as personally as a lot of people think. But I really fear for her safety, because there's a lot of nuts out there who could go and do something terrible to her. And then maybe her family will file some kind of lawsuit. It's just a crazy world we're living in. Anyway, I've got to go now, but thanks for listening. Have a great day.